My name is Ellen Barr. I'm a soloist with the New York City Ballet, and I'm one of the creators and executive producers of New York Export Opus Jazz. My ballet career started when I was 8 years old. I started dancing because my mom was a dancer in Russia, and she immediately took me to the School of American Ballet because she thought it was, the best school in the country, and we lived close enough that they could drive me back and forth. And so I started at SAB from day one. I went through every single level. I performed all the children's ballets with the company, and that's kind of when I fell in love with New York City Ballet, and that's how I got to know the Balanchine and Robbins rep. And so I always really wanted to be in New York City Ballet. It was really like my first love. And when I was 16 years old, I got my apprenticeship and I got my core contract when I was 17, and I've been there ever since. It's extremely rare for people to go from the first level to the last. So I kind of feel like a product of that world. Well, it's sort of the nature of way being a dancer works. It's like you go into a studio and you work with a choreographer, or you go to a company and you're always working in that world, and it's very insular, and you forget that you have a responsibility to a greater public because you never actually see them. I mean, they're sort of this audience in the void that you don't actually see and very rarely get to meet. And I think dancers are used to leaving it up to other people, leave it up to the administration, to the advertisers, leave it up to someone else to get people in here. But I don't really think we can do that anymore. I think that, the film was a product of starting to feel like part of an overlooked and misunderstood art. Just little things, like sort of being frustrated by going to the New York Times website and it has all the arts listed on the side, but dance isn't there. You have to click 3 times to get to dance. It's little things like that, or it's the dance section is always this tiny pushed to the back section of a magazine, and it just always seems like this kid sister art, that's it's not as serious as opera, or it's not, it's just, I was frustrated with things like that, and people not understanding just how relevant it can be, and that it's not just, the old story ballets, but it's not just this, it's not just that, it's so many things. I think the film grew out of a product of that frustration, and I don't really feel like the film is an answer. I just think it's one very small piece of what needs to be a larger puzzle of, I see dancers reaching out and they're doing things on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. I think it's cool. It's not really the kind of person I am. That's not really what I would do, but I think it's just really cool when anyone's trying to do anything. I really respect that, and they're trying to bring new people in and use those tools to reach people. I don't really know, I think it's just going to be a combination of a lot of things of the dance world, just getting it together and getting out to people. And I see things happening, Fall for Dance is a huge success, and I see things happening that are exciting. I would hope to just keep contributing in whatever small way I can to that, and if Opus Jazz, I think, has been really successful with that. We'd love to do that again. Of course, it's going to take many things like that and many things of a different type to really change our status right now. I really like this organization called Alliance for the Arts, because what they do basically is they advocate for the arts in New York, and they basically just make the case that the arts is sort of what makes a city live and breathe, and it's what brings people here, and it's this huge economic engine. It brings people here to live because they want to become successful at their art, and dance is a huge part of that. It brings people in just for the night to see something. It's I think if you're dealing with something like government funding, the best argument you can make is just economic, that this is the engine of why people want to come here, and this is the engine of why people love this place, and they come out and they spend and they see things and they get inspired and they make things, and it's an engine for our society. It's a huge part of what makes us special. So I think when you're dealing with people like that, I would make that argument before I would say all the other arguments, which is just basically the arts are the thing we do, not because it's the one thing we do in life not to stay alive. It's not eating or building a shelter or something like that. The art is just our one way of making life beautiful, and it's kind of the highest achievement of human beings, because it's I've taken care of all these things I need to survive, and now I want to make this beautiful rather than just this drudgery of an existence. That's kind of how I think of it, as the highest thing that we can do, because it's making our world beautiful and not just surviving. I think the arts suffer precisely for the reason that people say, well, it's, it's not, feeding like the hungry, it's not, doing this or doing that, but it really is. You can't separate things so easily. It's like giving people jobs and fueling the economy is keeping a lot of people out of poverty right now. It's like the arts have this invisible effect that everyone just takes for granted. And just also the arts have this really powerful way of communicating messages, whether it's political, if you want to save the environment. It's like these things are so much better communicated through film and through novels and through dance and through all these things than they are in just, dry scientific reports or something like that. It's like the arts really make everything important for every human. They really communicate why people should care about something. And so even if the arts isn't necessarily your thing, it's like the arts is a way to communicate your message.